move the table up a little bit?
Well, this way they just come up to the table. I think for what we're doing, it actually works.
Okay.
Because that way they can just walk up here.
Okay.
Check, check. 1, 2. Hello, hello. You guys can take the front row. You're the family. And then you have nothing to lean on all night. Kadosh Baruch. Okay, thank you, Fifi, for telling me.
Check 1, 2, 1, 2. Shalom Aleichem Malachim. Shalom, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi Melech Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kol haolam kulo Gesher tzar meod, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, כל העולם כולו, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. והעיקר לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל. James, I need a little more vocal, please. Well, I think in the house, I think. Yeah, right, 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 yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל.
If you'd like to light a Shabbat candle, can you turn me up a little bit, James? If you could please light a Shabbat candle, they're on the side table tonight. Shabbat candles are on the side table. If you'd like to light a Shabbat candle, please, they're to my right. Please, we want to get started almost on time. We have Shabbat candles to my right tonight. They are not on the bima. They are not on the bima, Vicky. They are not on the bima. They're over there. If you'd like to light a Shabbat candle, they are to my right. Shabbat candles are to my right. Shabbat candles are to your left, to my right. Please be very careful. There's a tablecloth underneath them. If you'd like to light a Shabbat candle, they're to my right. Hello, Jerry and Joanne. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Come on in and take a seat. Shabbat candles are to my right. You have not give me another 3 minutes, James. James, give me like another 3 minutes, please. 'Cause I don't know where Joel is either. Yes, that was me singing earlier. You doubted that? Huh? You have 4.5 minutes. Candles are to my right. Bert Levy is in the room. We can get started. Moses, ask your father what his name actually is. Hello, honey. What's going on? Please find your seats. We're going to begin in 1 minute, which means we're only going to be 5 minutes behind. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. If you're a regular to Kol Tikva services, you know that our services are often quite lively. But tonight we do not just honor Shabbat, we're also going to be honoring Yom HaShoah v'HaGevurah, the martyrs and heroes of the Holocaust. This holiday occurred a few days ago, and we are honoring it tonight. So while Shabbat brings joy to our hearts, we must also remember the martyrs of this terrible event. The first, Yom HaShoah, the Yom HaGevurah, occurred in 1955. It occurred through a declaration of the Knesset, the Israeli parliament. It took another 4 years, 1959, until it was signed into law by Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion. Since then, the observance of this day has spread worldwide. Yom HaShoah occurs 8 days prior to Yom HaAtzmaut, linking memory, with redemption. We go from the memory of the Holocaust and we travel to the independence of Israel, our homeland, the state that is there for us. So while this holiday, this holy day occurred earlier this week, we are remembering it tonight. We come together to celebrate Shabbat, but also to honor and to remember those who died as martyrs and those who survived, both groups inspiring us each and every day. We have a yellow memorial candle and 2 trays of smaller yellow candles on the bima tonight. This yellow reminds us of the armbands Jews had to wear during World War II. They wore these as signs that they were Jews, and they were put on them to stand out. But they were also a sign of pride. We wear our Judaism proudly. And so this yellow has taken on a new meaning. It's a statement of remembering the Holocaust. It's a statement of our pride. It's a statement of our continuity. So tonight I'm going to light a yellow candle. We begin with silence. The silence of death, the silence after destruction. There are times when songs falter, when darkness fills life, when martyrdom becomes a constellation of faith. Against the unrelieved black of space about us, there are no words to reach beyond the edge of night, no messenger to tell the full tale. There is only silence, the silence of Job, the silence of the 6 million, the silence of memory. Let us remember them as we link our silences. I'm on page 522. We kindle this light in memory of the 6 million Jews murdered by the Nazis and their collaborators. May the memory of the righteous be for a blessing. Zikronam livracha. Blessed is the match consumed in kindling flame. Blessed is the flame that burns in the secret fastness of the heart. Blessed is the heart with the strength to stop its beating for honor's sake. Blessed is the match consumed in kindling flame. And now I'd like to ask all of you to silently come forward as we sing, or as Joel leads us in Shalom Aleichem. Please come forward and light a yellow candle during the singing of Shalom Aleichem. Please.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim,
One candle per person, please.
Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Please light from the center out.
Boachem leshalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi
Please from the center out.
Mi melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni leshalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leshalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shalom. Ya la 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 la. we could retain the sanctity of the candle lighting with some silence. As the last candles are lit, I'm turning to page 524. A poem by Primo Levi. You who live secure in your warm houses, who return at evening to find hot food and friendly faces, consider whether this is a man who labors in the mud, who knows no peace, who fights for a crust of bread, who dies at a yes or a no. Consider whether this is a woman without hair or name, with no more strength to remember, eyes empty and womb cold as a frog in winter. Consider that this has been. I commend these words to you. Engrave them on your hearts when you are in your house, when you walk on your way, when you go to bed, when you rise. Repeat them to your children, or may your house crumble. Disease render you powerless. Your offspring avert their faces from you. We turn to page 138 for Lecha Dodi. And tonight is a mix of joy because of Shabbat, but also reflection. And Shalom Aleichem, which may be played a bit slower than normal, is still a song of joy to remind us of the Sabbath bride coming into our lives. And whenever we're doing a Yom HaShoah service, I always remind people that Shabbat comes regardless of where we are. When that sun sets on a Friday, Shabbat begins and the Sabbath enters our lives, regardless of whether we're in a house of prayer or a concentration camp. Shabbat comes to all. We don't need an edifice. We don't need a rabbi. We just need one another. Lecha Dodi on page 138, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, rising on that final verse and facing the back door.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el ha'meuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem ultiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מכתם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. lecha Dodi, lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Itoreri, תוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נקרא. לך תודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצוהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך תודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
You may be seated. We have two sets of Shabbat candles out tonight because tomorrow is a joyous day, because tomorrow is Maya Bar David's bat mitzvah. So I'd like Maya to bring her family forward and set themselves up near the cantor side of the podium. And I'd like to ask everyone who is associated with a Holocaust survivor, so a survivor, a child of a survivor, grandchild of a survivor, a great-grandchild of a survivor, I'd like you to come to this side so we can also honor you tonight. Please come forward and we'll have you light this set of candles. One candle for a joyous moment and one candle for a moment of memory. I'd like you, the Holocaust, those connected to Holocaust families, to be on this side. Please, if you could step all the way up to the candles. Don't be shy. And who would like to light for us? Come on up. And we can get everybody a little bit closer. Come on closer. And now I'm going to ask the Bar Davids, and I'm going to ask this lovely group if everyone could please light their Shabbat candles now. Yes. These gateways lead to our hearts. These are the gateways through which Shabbat enters and fills our next 24 hours with joy.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu וציוונו להדליק נר, וציוונו וציוונו להדליק נר, וציוונו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Thank you all for coming forward. Maya, I know you're going to be amazing tomorrow, all right? And you can all return to your seats. I'm on page 526, a poem by Frant Abbas, age 14, written in Terezin. I am a Jew and will be a Jew forever. Even if I should die from hunger, never will I submit. I'll always fight for my people on my honor. I will never be ashamed of them. I give my word. I am proud of my people, how dignified they are. Even if I am suppressed, I will always come back to life. Please rise if you're able. We are on page 146 for the Baruch Hu.
Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך, המבורך לעולם ועד. המבורך, המבורך לעולם ועד.
You may be seated for a moment. Everyone here know Joe Karnofsky? If not, Joe, wave at everybody. This is Joe Karnofsky. You've been a member for how many years? A lot. Yeah, a couple. Joe is one of our longtime members, but she's also a religious school teacher. And 3 years ago, she did a class on the Holocaust for her students. I believe they were sixth graders at the time. Sixth graders. And she assigned them I Am poems to write. And so tonight I'm going to share two students' pieces, two that she forwarded to me with their permission. One by Maggie Thompson, which is a poem from the perspective of a frightened daughter, and then another by Naomi D'Alessio, who's in the audience. And she did hers from the perspective of someone who's a prisoner. I'm going to share one poem prior to the Shema and one after. These poems remind us really about L'Dor Vador. Not everything we pass on is happy, but we have to pass it on. And as you hear these poems, you're going to see that they're trying to wrestle with what happened during the Holocaust in a creative way by placing themselves in the first person into the poetry. L'Dor Vador is not always kind, but it must be remembered. And I think this exercise that Joe did in her class shows just that. So let me begin with Maggie's poem. It's called I'm a Daughter. I'm a daughter and a frightened girl. I wonder when peace will prevail. I hear loud, helpless screams. I see large, intimidating trains. I want my loving family. I'm a daughter and a frightened girl. I pretend that I'm home. I feel tears rolling down my cheeks. I touch my face. I worry that this will never end. I cry for all those who suffer here. I am a daughter and a frightened girl. I understand I need to find the light. I say that I hope this will be over when I open my eyes. I dream of a better world. I try to be strong for my family. I hope my people will be safe. I'm a daughter and a frightened girl. Please rise if you're able for the Shema. Let's take a moment and take a deep breath in and hold it and let it out. Another deep breath in, hold it and let it out. Another deep breath in, hold it and let it out. The Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Le'olam Vaed.
You may be seated unless your name is Maya. And then Maya, you're going to come forward to prepare to lead us in the Vahafta. As you're coming forward, I'm going to read a poem by Naomi de Alessio. I'm a terrified prisoner. I wonder whether this tragedy will ever end. I hear the trains clacking along the tracks. I see smoke rising from the crematorium. I want freedom. I am a terrified prisoner. I pretend that the blackened ground is carpeted in grass. I feel the pain of hard work for days on end. I touch my rotting clothes. I worry that I may never be free. I cry for those who will never make it out. I am a terrified prisoner. And now the Vahafta on page 154. And now the Vahafta on page 154. Take two.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושבנתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאוהל על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Yasher Koach, good job. In our ark, typically there are 5 Torahs. One Torah is at the home of the Bar Davids, a tradition that we have at Kol Tikva before a bar or bat mitzvah. And then we have 2 Torahs, the 2 in the center. And they are actually called Holocaust Torahs. I'm sure many of you have heard me speak about them in the past. The one to the left, or to my left, closer to me, is from a place called Bruno. And the other one is from a place called Domelise. The one near me was written around 1750. And I ask every B'nai Mitzvah student before I give them a Torah, what year was the American Revolution? 1770. It was also the name of a musical, so what year? Thank you very much. So that Torah is about 25 years older than George Washington crossing, I believe it was the Potomac. If my American history is off, you can correct. Delaware, thank you. I knew it sounded wrong. And I think about that Torah, though, for about 250 years or more, presiding over a small synagogue in the Pale of Settlement, with B'nai Mitzvahs occurring every weekend, with festivals occurring. I think about the amount of events it looked at, it saw. And somehow, at the end of World War II, it went from the hands of Nazis to the British Jewish community, who took over 1,500 Torahs, brought them back to life, and sent them around the world. And we ended up with two. The one from Brno around 1750, and this one from Domalis, which was written probably around 1920, just before the Holocaust. It didn't see as many B'nai Mitzvahs. And they both ended up here, reminding us about the power of Jewish survival. And I bring that up because we're going to sing the Micha Mocha, if I've got my outline right, the Micha Mocha in a moment. And the Micha Mocha is a song about going through a narrow place. It's a song about leaving Mitzrayim. It's a song about walking through the Sea of Reeds and finally getting to freedom. And these two Torahs represent that long journey to freedom, that long journey to survival. So we're going to be doing the Micha Mocha on page 158.
Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha Nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot Osef ele, Nora tehilot Osef ele, Malchutecha Chauvanecha, בוקע לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות Osef ele, Nora tehilot, Osef ele.
We turn to page 160 for Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu is the prayer we say each night as we lay ourselves to sleep. And in this prayer we say to God, please take care of our souls, watch over us, wrap us in a shelter of peace. Hashkivenu, page 160.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
We find the Misha Berach prayer on page 371. We say the Misha Berach for those who are ill of mind, body, and spirit. On our Misha Berach list, Jace Aubie, Joshua Morricone, Sarah Gabriela Baschaya, Debbie Powell, Leo Birnbaum, Howard Ryder, Janet Blake, Pat Reiner, Ellen Chris, Brian Rose, Richard Kahn, Judy Rose, Hannah Duveen, Paula Rosenthal, Susie Ehrenberg, Gustav Raul, Brian Gleason, Fred Rutberg, Mark Goff, Patrick Sims, Hilya Malka Hartenstein, Fred Solomon, Nancy Cantor, Marta Sonderman, Bob Klein, Jeff Stickler, Kitty Coster, Wendy Tipp, David Kramer, Lee Trachtman, Colleen Larson, Sharon Vanderslice, John Laxer, Susan Vidal, Steve Lincoln, Arabella White, Laura Mitchell, Mike Willard, Neil Mitchell, Lori Wolvek, and Miriam Zaslavskaya. We also think of those released from captivity, those affected by acts of terrorism, anti-Semitism, and bigotry, those caught in natural and unnatural disasters, those healing from all too frequent gun violence, those who are food deprived, those affected by governmental budget cuts, those who find themselves fighting for our nation's soul, those caught in the middle of warfare, those who are in ICE detention centers, and all those caring for the ill. If you have an additional name for our Misha Berak list, share it with me now. Mishaberach Avotenu V'Imatenu. May the God of our ancestors grant refuah shlema, complete and full healing to all those named tonight and to all those we hold in our hearts. And together we say the singing of Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor Haberacha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor haberacha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Viktor Frankl wrote from the concentration camps, or about the concentration camps. One evening when we were already resting on the floor of our hut, dead tired, soup bowls in hand, a fellow prisoner rushed in and asked us to run out to the assembly grounds and see the wonderful sunset. Standing outside, we saw sinister clouds in the west and the whole sky alive with clouds of ever-changing shapes and colors, from steel blue to blood red. The desolate gray mud huts provided a sharp contrast, while the puddles on the muddy ground reflected the glowing sky. Then, after minutes of moving silence, one prisoner said to another, "How beautiful the world could be." Let us rise for the Amidah. We are on page 164. Tonight we will be doing Adonai Sivatai Tiftak, Avot, Gevorot, and Kedusha. And then after chanting those, we're going to be turning to page 554 for a special insert for Yom HaShoah.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei avotenu veimotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו משני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
On page 554. Av Harachamim, merciful parent who dwells on high, in your great mercy remember in mercy your upright, blameless, and deserving children and their holy communities that were destroyed in their great numbers in the Holocaust. Their lives were taken as they honored your name, beloved and precious in life. Even death cannot separate them from us. May God remember them for goodness along with all the world's righteous. And let us say Amen. Am Yisrael Chai. Tonight we're going to take 2 minutes of silence. Literally 2 minutes of silence. When we would normally be doing the silent meditation and someone gets done at one moment or someone else gets done a few moments later. Because in Israel, on Yom HaShoah, at exactly 10 a.m., sirens sound. And wherever you are in Israel at that moment, you stop. Cars stop on the freeway and people get out. Those sirens start and you stop whatever you are doing. You stand up and you remember. And so I am setting my little timer. We tried using a horn like they do in Israel once. It really didn't work. I'm going to set my timer so we can reflect for just 2 minutes. And when I walk backwards and take my 3 steps to conclude my prayer, you'll know that those 2 minutes are over and your silent meditation has ended. be seated.
כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל.
I'd like to ask Stephanie Elkins to come forward to introduce tonight's guest speaker. I'm sure everyone here knows Stephanie, but she's a very dedicated member of our staff who works primarily in our senior outreach, but can be seen everywhere doing everything. There you go.
That's me. Hi, everybody. Always a significant Shabbat and evening, and I'm really honored that Sarah wanted to be here with us tonight. Sarah Goldman and I know each other as we volunteer together. We started about 4 years ago doing work called Hevra Kadisha, which is really holy work as well as dedicating our time and doing ritual after death. And I could talk to you more about that afterwards in terms of that special time between death and burial and the sacred work that we volunteer and do together. Needless to say, when we do that work, we don't get to know each other as much because we're spending time really focused and doing our mitzvot together. But one day I was perusing the internet, and I looked in terms of, went to Museum of Tolerance, and I saw Sarah's name show up as a speaker as part of the Witness of Truth speaker series that they have. And so I'm like, oh, this is a really big part of Sarah's life. And also a really, something she's dedicated and passionate to do is to share her parents, but mostly her mother's story. She was almost, it was like, this is part of her legacy is to share her mother's story. She does it in Spanish at Museum of Tolerance, but she's not going to do it in Spanish for us. And so some of us were fortunate to get to know Sarah a little bit more in our conversation before tonight, but I'm so glad you're here with us right now and to share your mother's story with us.
Thank you, Steph, for inviting me. Shabbat Shalom for everybody, and congratulations, Maya Mazal Tov. As Stephanie said, I'm really proud, and also, you know, it's my duty to share this story. I'm a daughter of both father and mother Holocaust survivors. And the story that I tell at the Museum of Tolerance, it's my mother's and her sister escape of Auschwitz. I have like 10 minutes to talk about this. At the museum, I talk about an hour and 15 minutes. So what I'm gonna share with you is a small chapter of her escape of Auschwitz. Let me start with some statistics that don't know exactly, but there are around 200, 220 people that escaped from Auschwitz. Among those 220, just 4 women. 2 women that didn't make it, and they were killed. And the other 2 women is my mother and her sister, who of course did make it. And I'm gonna start with a story where she is at the end of 1944 working in the Canada Commando. Canada Commando was a place where they used to, select the clothing of the people they brought to the camp. They looked for, diamonds inside the coats and things like that. And they were very, very, they were looking at them all the time very closely because of these things, because if they found a diamond, they shouldn't take it. And the Nazis were very, very glad to find some diamonds there. So she and her sister were working at the commando, and they were aware that the chimneys were working day and night. Already the Allies were already in Poland and trying to liberate Poland. Where there were the Russians and the Americans there. And so the Nazis were starting to eliminate all what was there, including people, and they were doing it very fast. So at that moment, they decided to escape. And how did they do it? One night, before that, they were working, and in a moment my mother saw that one of the Gestapo guards threw a key. She immediately put her foot on the key to hide it, and when she could, she took it and put it in her pants. And that night, she told her sister, "You know what? I'm going to the Canada Commando tonight because we have to escape. And we have to get some clothing. So I'm going there, and I'll be back in about 1 hour, 2 hours. And if I don't come back, it's why. You know why it is." So my mother went, and fortunately, that key was from that part. She could open the door, and she took the one skirt and a blouse and a sweater and maybe, I don't know, a hat or something like that for her sister. And she took also a pair of shoes. And the shoes, she buried them somewhere, and she took all the clothing to my aunt, to her sister. And when she got back to her barrack, she told her sister, "You put them on right now, because nobody can see that you have this clothing under your uniform." So she did that. "And what about you?" My aunt asked her sister, and she said, well, I couldn't bring all the clothes. Tomorrow night, I will do it again. The next night, she again went to the Canada Commando, and she took some clothes for her and also a pair of shoes that also she buried them and went back. She wore them under her uniform. And they decided that next Sunday, it was a Friday already, next Sunday, they were going to escape. So Sunday came by. They didn't go. They went to the formation because they were counting all the prisoners there. And after that, they didn't go to the great breakfast they had. They didn't go there. They went to a corner and they took off the uniforms and got rid of the uniforms. They wore the clothing. They took the shoes. And they were walking, they started walking straight to the gate of the camp. And all of a sudden they hear halt, and they don't listen and they don't stop. And my mother tells to her sister, don't stop. If they kill us, if they fire through us, it's okay. I prefer that to be in the crematorium. So they kept on going, and again they heard halt, and they didn't stop. And instead of firing at them, the guard sent the dog to them. The dog bit my mother's leg very hard in a big vein, and she started bleeding terrible. And the guard came to them and scolded them because he didn't know that they were Jewish. He thought they were, some daughters of a camp, Nazi or something like that, and told them, you shouldn't be here, girls. And now you should go to the infirmary to heal your wound, and then go home. Okay, so they went. Of course, they went to the infirmary, and my mother, the way she could, she stopped the bleeding, and from there they escaped. There was a window in the infirmary. They jumped from the window, and there was a wooden wagon over there with those hay. You say hay, right? So there was this wagon with hay, and they went under the hay. And they waited there till the wagon started to move. It was moving already, and they thought maybe that when we see that we're in the middle of the forest, we're gonna jump out. But it was like after half an hour, and it was December, it was cold, it was snowing. And the guy that was with the wagon, he wanted his coat. So he started feeling in the back. Where was his coat? And he grabbed my aunt's hand. So he discovered them, and he was really mad. They told him to get off the wagon, and tomorrow he was going to take them back to Auschwitz. And for the moment, they were already quite far away from Auschwitz. And he told them to run in front of the horses, and to be careful, because if the horses killed them, it was going to be very okay with him. So you can imagine really undernourished, two girls undernourished, running in front of the horses, and they got to the place where he lived and where he had some horses, and he took my mother and her sister to the where the horses lived. How you say stables? To the stable. Sorry for the English, okay? And he took them to the stable and told them, "You don't move from here because I'm going to take you tomorrow morning back to Auschwitz." Okay, he closed the doors, and there were my mother and her sister in the stables. Of course, they were very afraid, but started to look if they could get away from the stables. They looked and looked, and behind the horse, there was a little door. So they went out from the stable to the forest, and they started running to the forest. After, I don't know, maybe 5 kilometers of running, it was night already, they saw a light. And the light, they got into that house and they knocked, and a woman opened the door, and they said, "You know what? We are lost, and we don't know where to go, and will you please give us shelter tonight?" And she said, "I have to talk to my husband." She talked to her husband, and the husband came, and my mother told him, "Mr. Malik, can I talk to you in private?" And he said, "Of course." My mother told him, "Look, Mr. Malik, we are Jewish. We are from Auschwitz. We don't know where to go. Our lives are in your hands. Please let us stay here for the night, and we will be going tomorrow." So Mr. Malik said, "Okay, you can hide here for a week. And then, but just for a week, next Friday, you're out of here. I don't want to hear anything. Next Friday, you're out of here." And then they said they were very happy. He was very nice. And he gave them to eat once a day, which it was a lot for them. And also he brought some paper and a pencil for my mother, and some magazines for them too. Dresses and things like that from that time. So my mother started to write her diary in that moment. And every day he came and brought them the food and everything, but he always said, "Remember, today is Wednesday, today is Thursday, and tomorrow is Friday, and you have to leave." And my mother and her sister were ready to leave to the next day. And next day, Friday morning, Mr. Malik must have called the Gestapo. And a guard a colonel, I don't know, from the Gestapo came and took them, and not to Auschwitz, but I think I'm already past the time that so if you want to hear the next chapter, let me just tell you that I'm just telling you the beginning. They escaped, and they were in the run for 4 months, from the end of December till the beginning of May, till the 4th of May. That was when Germany surrendered. They didn't know that Auschwitz was liberated. They didn't know that. They were on the run all that 4 months. Thank you very much for hearing my story. I mean, not my story, my mom's story. And have everybody a Shabbat Shalom.
Hopefully you'll stay around during the oneg and if people want to hear more of the story, you'll share with them. Thank you. That was spellbinding. There are so many stories of the Holocaust, and I'm always, my heart is always touched by each and every one of them. They are all so unique, and they all show the bravery that people needed to survive. We're now going to turn to page 533 for a special mourner's Kaddish. Kaddish Yom HaShoah. Unlike all those who came up to light the candles with us earlier, those who are survivors or children of survivors or grandchildren of survivors, to please stand first. And now, as we do with our mourners Kaddish, I'd like the rest of the community to please rise. I will be doing the Hebrew and the English back and forth on page 533. Please join me if you would like. Yitkadal Auschwitz, V'yitkadash Lodz, Shmei Rabbah Ponar, Ba'alma Divra Chirutei Babiyar, V'yamlich Malchutei Maidanik, V'chayechon V'yomechon Birkenau, V'chayei L'chol Beit Israel Kovno, Ba'agalav Yizman Kariv Janaska V'yimru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarak Leolam Lamei Almaya, Yitbarak V'yishtabak Theresienstadt, V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam Buchenwald, V'yitnaseh V'yitadar Treblinka, V'yitalev V'yitalal Vilna, Shmei Dekudsha Berichu Bergen-Belsen, Leila Mauthausen, Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Dachau, Tushbachata V'nechamata Minsk, Damiran B'alma Warsaw, V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shmaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. May the one who makes peace on high grant peace to all those who remember. And together we say, you may be seated. I believe I'm calling forward Tina DeGan for some announcements right now. President Extraordinaire coming forward. I'm going to put you in front of the bima. I've got this for you too.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm so glad that you are all here to share in this special Shabbat service with us, and to Sarah for sharing her family's story. It's really important for us all to hear and to remember and pass the stories on so that people don't forget. And so thank you for joining us this evening. And of course, I want to thank Rabbi John and Cantor Joel for a meaningful service that we always enjoy, and James in the back for getting the sound system pitch perfect. I want to call Maya up to the bima. You did an amazing job of chanting this evening, and I know you'll do a great job tomorrow. Your family, your friends, and the congregation are all proud of you, and some of us have had the chance to see you growing up, running through the halls of the religious school, so it's so special to see you here on the bima this evening. On behalf of the board, I wanted to give you this Kiddush cup, and may you use it for all the special Shabbats of your life. Thank you again. Good luck tomorrow. Mazel tov. Okay, back to the announcements. There are so many things happening. I will give you just a few highlights. Tomorrow morning at 9:30, there's the final family Shabbat. So parents, grandparents, if you have young'uns from 2 to 8, please join us. Next Friday, the 24th, it's our last community celebration for the fiscal year, and we will celebrating Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel Independence Day. There's going to be Israeli dancing, an Israeli-style dinner, wine tasting. The event starts at 5:30, so I hope to see you all, or many of you, there. Save the date for the Drag Queen Bingo. It's coming on June 27th. There'll be more information coming. It doesn't say it on here, but I know this Sunday is Jesse Gabriel's, I forget what he calls it, but it's, pardon me? Thank you, Day of Service. So it's kind of late to sign up, but Jonathan found that you could go on the website and go in as a walk-in, and if you, for certain events. So if you're interested and haven't already signed up, please do that. Finally, oh no, that's it. Finally, you may join us after the service for the oneg that is sponsored by the Bar David family in honor of Maya's B'nai Mitzvah tomorrow, and Sarah and Alex Litvak in memory of Mark Axelrod, Arkady Litvak, and Vladimir Litvak. So I hope to see you there. And of course, we can hear many more parts to the story if you stick around and talk to Sarah. So thank you.
We're now in the period called the counting of the Omer. It begins the second day of Passover and continues for 49 days until the day before Shavuot. We left Egypt. We became free, but we are not yet a community. We became a community when God presented us with the 10 Commandments, and that happens on Shavuot. So we count each day of the 49 days with excitement in our heart as we move towards a day of joy for the community. And so we count each day, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer, which means, blessed are you, eternal our God, the sovereign of all, who has made us holy with your mitzvot and commanded us concerning the counting of the Omer. Hayom shisha asar yom shehem shnei shavuot v'shnei yamim la Omer. I'm sorry, my eyes have a hard time reading anything that small. Today is the 16th day, making 2 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. So may we look excitedly towards the 33rd day, Lag BaOmer. We'll be having a big celebration here in a couple weeks. Just one addition, next week is Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel Independence Day. For the first time, I cannot remember there being quiet in the Mideast. And I'm not claiming as a permanent quiet, but right now there are no wars going on, and there's a lot to celebrate because, well, there is a moment of silence, and there's a moment of peace with negotiations going on. So please join us next week. We have a wonderful speaker, Ben Harris, who wrote a cover story for the Jewish Journal called How to Be Liberal and Still Support Israel. We're going to have Israeli dancing, Israeli food. The Jewish National Fund will be here. Shemesh Farms will be here. We'll have some arts and crafts for the kids. Some wine tasting for all of you adults in here. So we've got a big event planned next week to remind us of the joy we can have, especially during a moment of peace. We are now turning to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. On our recently departed list, Shirley Fields, remembered by the Moline, Fields, Frankel, Cochran, and Hackinson families. Nurit Bat Tirza, remembered by the Sinai, Hanish, and Friedman families. We also hold in our prayers the innocents killed by senseless acts of violence, those that have passed due to floods, fires, and other natural and unnatural disasters, those that are no longer present due to famine, those who died due to lack of vaccination and changes in standardized rational health care, those that have passed due to the consequences of war, and all those that have no one but us to say Kaddish for them. We also think of those who died during this season in years past. Mark Axelrod, Faraday Bayenfar, Herb Binder, Michael Brenner, Norman Berg, Sid Fisher, Janice Flamer, Isidore Galishoff, Stuart Glazer, Gus Ermes, Harry A. Levine, Arthur Leffitz, Arkady Litvak, Vladimir Litvak, Fred Nidich, Perla Plutt, Don Robbins, Blanche Rosen, Benjamin Rosenfeld, Marcia Rothschild, Kay Saunders, Stuart Shire, Arthur Schreiber, Ann Schub, Thea Schuber, Esther Skopp, Hinda Lee Sheffer, Dr. Patrick Smith, Esther Spiro, Samuel Steinberg, Sheila Tepper, Sandra Judith Thompson, Victoria Tiano, Marty Weiss, Lottie Zelby. If you have an additional name for our Kaddish or Yortzeit list, share it with us now. If you're in the first 7 days of mourning Shiva, please rise. If you're in the first 30 days of mourning Shloshim, please rise. If you're in the first year of mourning, please rise. If you're observing a Yortzeit, please rise. These are the mourners in our midst. We rise to show them our love and our support. We are on page 598. Yitkadal v'yikadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma divrach hirtei v'amlech malchutei, v'chaye echon v'yimechon v'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kari v'imru. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'rechu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushpachata v'nechamata, Damiran bi'alma v'imru. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates peace on high create peace for all who mourn, for all Israel, and for all humankind. And together we say, put down your books, put your arms around one another. If you do not know the people next to you, introduce yourself before you put your arm around them. We'll do our closing song and then a few more blessings.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
I'd like Maya to come forward with her family to hold our Kiddush cup in front of the bima tonight. Come on forward. Come on forward. Hold that up. Face everybody. Let's all hold up our imaginary Kiddush cups. Fill them with a little grape juice or whiskey or whatever you like. And now a short Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim.
I'd like everyone to come forward and place their hand on the shoulder of the person in front of them. So we all connect to the challah and we all connect to one another. So come forward, place your hand on the shoulder of the person in front of you. Come on forward. Let's all connect as one. I love this. They've got like a little choo-choo train going on back there. That's great.
Shira, I'm never having wine again.
Come on forward. Neil, join the group. All right. If you're not coming forward, send your spirit forward. With your free hand, point at the challah and go yummy, yum, yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
And now the hamotzi.
Baruch
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Shabbat shalom. Give someone a hug, a kiss,
shalom.
and then come get some challah. So we're making Maya hold the tray.
Shabbat
Shalom.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shalom.